And it's tournament day. Another tournament report. It's an RTT today. We're looking forward to playing. Have a crazy fun list that I'm bringing. And I can't wait to show it to you. At the lab here in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, let's dive in.
The Dark King.
Welcome to another tournament report. The first thing we're going to do is look at the list that I decided to bring for this event. Bit of an experiment, so I hope you enjoy it. And here we have 2,000 points of Drukhari for this tournament. I decided to do something a little different, and as you can see, it's very apparent. I decided to bring the Tantalus to the event. This is a triple patrol detachment, similar to what I ran at the last tournament, basically with the 2 Void Raven bombers, some Trueborn. But I've decided to skew a little bit more and take Lilith Hesperax, and I'll explain why as we go. It's just more like an experiment. The Tantalus mainly, tends to attract a lot of firepower. It has decent shooting. It's quite fast, good transport capacity, but it tends to die very fast. So it's more of an experiment to see kind of like how a list like this will face off against some of the tougher lists in the meta. I'm looking forward to trying it out. So it is 3 patrols. The first one being a Cabal of the Poison Tongue detachment. I am using Tolerated Ambition on the Archon to give him Ancient Evil for the fight last. He does have a Blast Pistol and an Agonizer. Then because I'm taking him, I'm taking 2 single Urgles. Now that choice created quite a few comments in the last tournament recap. Yes, I know the Court of the Archon unit is a minimum of 4 models, and it can be, Slith, Urgle, Medusa, Lamians, and kind of like combinations. These are not the Court of the Archon. They are the Blackstone Fortress Urgle. Now, they're currently, as of making this list, still a viable choice in a Drukhari army. They don't take up a slot. They're a single non-character model for 16 points. Why do I put them in the list? So I can just have something that does actions, and that's it. That's all they do. They do actions. They're essentially 32 points of my 2,000 point list, which is why I take them. They're so good. Would I take them in like a friendly? Probably not. But this is a tournament, so I'm going to take every advantage I can get because I'm an Archon, and I like taking advantage of things. No, I'm just kidding. They're just, I'm just doing it because I can. That's basically what it is. And if you want to, go ahead. If not, then don't do it. Completely up to you. But I like it, so I'm going to do it. He is a Master Archon. He does have 10 Trueborn, 2 Blasters, and a Dark Lance. 2 units of 5 shadowy mandrakes as well. I love them in a competitive list. Like, my list starts with an Archon, Trueborn, 2 units of 5 mandrakes in like every single list. And then the rest of the patrol has the Tantalus in heavy support, 3 Venoms. 1 of them has double cannons. I paid for the double cannon. And then 2 of them have Grizzly trophies. And I did pay for the Grizzly trophies as well, for the -2 leadership buff modifier. And then the Raider has Splinter Axe. That's it. Splinter Axe on the Raider for the Trueborn to take advantage of that. Then we have the 2 Void Raven bombers with Dark Sides. And I did spend the extra points this time to give this Void Raven bomber its missiles. As you can see, it is WYSIWYG. I just wanted to be full WYSIWYG for this tournament. So it does have the missiles. And that's the biggest attachment that I have. A patrol, but I put a lot in it. Then we have the Cult of Strife patrol. I did take Lilith Hesperax as my warlord. Now you can see I glued a base on a base so that she's as tall as the new Lilith, and she has the base size of the new Lilith, so that so that I don't gain an advantage for having a smaller, easier to hide Lilith. So I've decided to kind of stack her up on that base there. I have she does have a Blood Dancer warlord trait. She is the warlord, and of course she can't have a relic. So I've decided to give my relic to this succubus, the Triptych Whip. And she's just a generic succubus with the +1 attack combat drug for her. Then we have a unit of 10 witches, rolled combat drugs, blast pistol, power sword, shardnet and impaler, and hydro gauntlets. That's a 10 strong unit of witches. And then we have 2 5 strong, each with a blast pistol on the Hecatrix. And they also roll for their combat drugs. They're sort of my toolkit objective secured units. And then I have a final patrol of Dark Creed with Mr. Ooga Booga Homunculus himself. With Tolerated Ambition, I've given him Fear Incarnate. He just has his standard gear. And then 6 racks. Why 6? Because since I took the 2 Urgals, I'm like 8 points off of 40, because it's 32 points, which means I can take a single rack to make a 6 strong unit. Which also means if the Urgals decide to go away, I can take them out, take one of these racks out, and I can put in 5 Kabalite warriors or 5 more racks. And essentially fill the role that these Urgal are doing anyway, and then get more OPSEC on there. So there you have it. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you enjoy the list. I'm really curious to see how it does at the tournament, because there will be some really good players there, and it is 3 rounds, and I'm hoping that, and I just wanted to play with my toys. So Tantalus and Lilith Hesperax. It's an experiment. Let's see how it does. Round 1, I'm playing Mr. Sam. We're here at a, that's right, Blood Angel player extraordinaire. We get paired off round 1. That's right, exciting. This is his list. Lots of, I'll put the list up after when we talk about it mid-thing. But we're playing Surround and Destroy, Mission 21. So these are very much like the GW style buildings. So if you're in, this is like area terrain, and it's true line of sight and stuff like that. And then you've got all this stuff going. So looking forward to it. Wish me luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Awesome. So here we are on round number 1. Sam's just moving his Blood Angels. Don't mind me, Sam. You can go ahead and do your thing. I ended up going first. The bombers were lackluster, but then again, Sam has built his list specifically to counter the bombers.
You already know.
He's already felt the pain a few times in test matches.
Yep.
So he has I think a Warlord trait that gives him a 5-up feel no pain against mortals in a radius, which did actually save one of this, because I would have killed the whole squad. I think it saved a couple of the Death Company as well, too. So that was really cool. I tried to kill him with mortal wounds with the mandrakes. I could have just put them back in reserve, but I didn't. But I do have witches with an Archon, the succubus with witches, the Trueborn, Urgal, and on this side I decided to get really aggressive with Lilith and her witches over here, as well as the one guy here. So basically just trying to, flip the script here, but he is pushing into the middle with his Sanguinary Guard, and they're no joke. So and they have full chapter master rerolls. Well, wish me luck. Let's see how this goes.
Let's do it.
Let's dive into Sam's list really quickly. Company veterans, chapter master, sanguinary priest, all based around a single battalion of Blood Angels. It's a core of characters, some good troops, the Assault Intercessor squad for backfield, a couple of Incursor squads for pressure, Death Company Marines for the first turn, harassment unit, Relic Contempt Dreadnought with Volkite, because it is Space Marines after all. The core of the list, 2 units of Sanguinary Guard, all decked out, ready to rock and roll, with the support of a Sanguinary Priest as well. A Scout Squad to do actions and get secondary points, the Attack Bikes to kill some tanks, an Inceptor Squad to just mop things up, and some Eliminators, and as well as a Landspeeder Storm. Interesting. And here we are after the round 1. Going first actually was a big deal. It was this Tantalus, man, just killing like blocks of infantry just left and right. I basically moved the Tantalus up and pushed up with Lilith, Hesperax, and the witches. The witches kind of all died in the middle here. But Lilith Hesperax started over there, and throughout the whole game, like, she did some really cool shenanigans over here, like bouncing around, and then like her double fight was actually really cool.
And then seek revenge for Archon Skari.
Yeah, and then Archon Skari died, but she killed the chapter master at the end of the game. He's the only survivor. It is a Sanguinary Priest, but he's holding an objective, saying, I have all the gene seed, filthy Xenos. There's a plane too. Look at that. Oh, you come here, you get sound effects and cool, like people moving your models for you. Okay, on to round. yeah, the score was 92 to 51. So, and I don't have like any troops left, except for the Trueborn. They were great. They went into reserve. They went back into the side here and then moved all the way over here. It was fantastic.
Slugfest was good.
It was awesome. Good game. On to round 2. And here we are at round number 2, playing Sweet and Clear Mission 32 against, that's right, 60 Necron warriors, Nihilak Necron warriors, and just a bunch of Immortals, Necrons, characters, and the Nightbringer. This army is awesome looking. Yeah, so let's dive in. And here we are after deployment. Well, the Necrons are still deploying a bunch of models. So Nightbringer's hiding back there somewhere. 2 Techno Monsters or Chrono Monsters, 3 Blobs of 20 Immortals, some Scarabs on the flanks, some Crypto Thralls and stuff in the back. Big guy that buffs them all, and Warden for fullback and shoot, and an Overlord with a Red Orb. You're a pretty standard, like, giant block of Necron warriors that don't want to die. Okay, wish us luck. Let's do this.
On to some Necrons. The Nihilak dynasty is pretty cool. It makes your army pretty sturdy if they basically stick around and don't really move too much. Illuminor, the Warden, bunch of warriors, some Scarabs, some screening, Nightbringer, some Crypto Thralls. Essentially your standard blob Necron army that can be very annoying to deal with. So I was very curious to see. I know I can kill warriors. It was depending on what my opponent can do to keep them alive.
Okay, end of the game recap. Once again, Lilith was incredible. She started over there, bounced around, ended up like over here till Nightbringer just made sure she died. Other than that, I screened out the whole table from the Veil, and I was able to really kind of put pressure, like killing 1 unit of warriors at a time, essentially. There was a critical turn on turn 3 where I held the Veil like further than he could from a unit of warriors, and the witches stopped them from falling back, so they couldn't get together, and then Veil and a critical point of the game. So no escape from the witches coming in big here. And then of course she like killed Caesaris in like 1 round of combat. That was pretty crazy. Okay, on to round number 3, 97 to 47. The Drukhari, the planes did almost nothing. They just killed 1 character. So that's okay, but it was a good one, the Warden, so that was pretty good. Let's see what I get to face in the final round. I'm here in round 3 and I get to play Ravenwing in the final day match. That's 10 plasma bikes, 9 outriders, and a bunch of characters. Lots and lots of characters just on the wind. Playing Eddie here. I've deployed already. We're playing priority targets. So let's dive into the game.
The Ravenwing have a lot of maneuverability options, so his list with like 7 characters, lots of bikes, decent shooting, and of course the 2 Talon Masters that are land speeders with 2 assault cannons, 2 heavy bolters. They're really nuts. So I knew I needed to try and neutralize them first, and then stop him from really moving his entire army into one spot. So isolate, destroy, and try and slow down the enemy as much as possible in this matchup directly.
And here we are after it's technically turn 3? Holy crap. Okay, it's ended turn 3. The Dark Angels are tabled. That's right. Lilith just went ham because I killed all the big stuff. And then Lilith, oh my goodness, Lilith. There was like 6 characters here, and she was just like bouncing in and out of combat, like murdering characters. I've never seen anything like it. Like, it was crazy. I'll do a little breakdown on how she works and stuff. But on that, Eddie, thanks for the game. That was pretty intense. It all started with like me bombing Ezekiel, and that was pretty much like bombing Ezekiel and then taking 1 Talon Master down to 3 wounds, and then the Void Ring Bomber was able to like nuke him because it was close. But he didn't have any command squads because it was more of a themed Ravenwing list. So he didn't have any like command squads to keep them from getting sniped, basically. Which against my list, I think it's like the only time it really works, because nobody plays the Flyers, really, other than like AdMech sometimes. And the Orcs, yeah. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out. That's 3 wins. Excellent. Let's dive into the after-action report.
Thanks a lot for watching. This was a great event. I had so much fun playing the Tantalus and Lilith Hesperax into what happened to be some traditionally tough lists just in general. You've probably gone to a tournament, faced the crazy Necron blobs, and you've also faced like a crazy amount of bikes, and you never really know what's going on. Ultimately, the hardest game I had was against Sam and the Blood Angels. He's probably the most veteran player there, and he couple of mistakes. However, I feel like that was like the last round of the tournament. We kind of had to play it at the beginning of the game. The Necron player hasn't had a lot of practice with 9th edition, so he's kind of getting his feet back under him, but traditionally he's a very strong player. He just hasn't had the practice, of course, during the pandemic. And then Eddie was just kind of threw this list together, had to switch it up last minute because there were a couple of point changes for the FAQ, and he ended up, doesn't really get to practice against Drukhari too often. All in all, I am very, very pleased with the way that the event went. I did get first place, which is awesome. Very excited, and I cannot wait for the next one. So what kind of list would you like to see me run? Something weird, something crazy, something esoteric? Leave a comment down below. Huge shout out to all the channel Patreons, without whom this wouldn't be possible, and I couldn't get you videos like this. So if you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, the links are all down below. You can check that all out, be a part of the community. If not, just leave a like, comment, share, that sort of thing. I hope you really enjoyed this tournament report. I have a lot of fun doing these when I go to an event, and I hope you learn some stuff from them as well. I've been Skari, your grateful host, signing off until next time. Skari out. The Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.